We this was almost a very different show. This was almost a deja vu for me as a fan here on this channel. I went with the title of "This is our bogey team" in the preview of this particular match, and 100% can be confirmed that it is. We almost lost this game today, and it was all because of our own downfalls, our own errors, our own mistakes. We put ourselves in the situation, but we had a player that pulled us out of this difficult period. He almost put us into a difficult situation, but he did recover from it to take us out of the difficult situation. South Africa won this match, I would say, by the skin of our teeth. It was a very nervous win for South Africa, a nervy victory in New York again on a new strip. A strip a lot better than the last one. I would have to say that definitely batting second was the right decision on this wicket. Let me just get that first out of the way before I start saying anything else with regards to the game. But we are in the situation right now where we are 2 wins out of 2. So let's take the positives out of this. And I'll speak about the positives a little bit more later on. But South Africa have ended up winning this particular match. Very, very close. It could have been a very different show. I was on the edge of my seat and my emotions went from being extremely angry to being ecstatic at the end. But I'm still going to try and speak with a sane mind over here about this particular game from a cricketing perspective, where things went wrong, where we did well, all of those type of things. But before we get going, before we get started, subscribe to the channel, please, and click that notification bell for all future videos as well. We are getting closer to our milestone, our next milestone of 5,000 subscribers. So let's try to get to that before the knockout stages, guys. Share this channel with everybody. Smash this like button. Comment in the game after the comment in the comment section after this game has after this live stream has ended. Do all those things for me, please, if you can. That's something that I really need from you guys so that we can spread this content far and wide among South African cricket fans. I'd also like you guys, please, to know that we also have a Patreon account if you guys want to help us out and you want to keep us going. This Patreon account really helps us with regards to keeping our content up, because I'm doing this for absolutely no money at the moment. So I'm only relying on you guys to be able to keep this afloat, fans of this channel, to keep this afloat. So become a Patreon today as well if you guys would like to do so. It's all, totally your choice if you want to get involved, but it will really help out the channel a hell of a lot. And also we have a monthly magazine. Subscribe to that as well. Download the latest issue. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link on the screen as well as in the description. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's review. I'm feeling excited to talk to you guys because I'd like to hear how you guys are feeling. Maybe you guys are feeling the same emotions as I do, and at least on that level we can relate. So let's get straight into it. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with South Africa against the Netherlands. It was South Africa's second game of the World Cup, and it was a very nervy one. But similarly to the last time, bowlers did well. Bowlers did exceptionally well today. We found ourselves in a very strong position at the beginning of this match. After 12 overs, South Africa were in a very comfortable position. We had the Netherlands on the ropes. They were on 48 for 6 after 12 overs, and it was Marco Jansen bowled beautifully up front again, Oatmeal. Bartman bowled beautifully, and Norkia again in the wickets. And we really had them, and a beautiful run out by Markram as well. Put them on the ropes. They were at 48 for 6. But then we did a South African thing again, which I have always said that we need to try and find a way on how to fix this. We need to be ruthless when we have a team on the back foot, 6 down, when they are in a difficult scenario or situation. We need to be able to take them out as quickly as possible and not allow them to come back into the match. Nerves started to creep in. We could see it in the field, even. We were starting to make mistakes in the field. We were starting to do weird things. But Maharaj and Rabada, particularly, the Dutch went after them. And once again, it's a South African that put the pressure and piled the pressure on our team, and that was Sybrand Engelbrecht, 40 or 45, batted really well. He had 2 4s and a 6, and particularly him and Logan Van Beek, the two of them together, they really took the game to the Proteas. I mean, they got them to the 100-run mark. They took them over the 100-run mark by the 20th over, and Sybrand tried to go for things. He needed to up the ante and really try and go for it and get as many runs on the board as possible. And he ended up losing his wicket. It was the death bowling, though. So South Africa in this match, let me just try and summarize his bowling performance. Really well up front and really well at the back end. Those were the two areas where we were really good. And that's largely got to do with Janssen and Bartman, as well as Bartman at the end. Those guys, and Andrich was brilliant in the middle order, in the middle overs, etc. At the top as well, but at the end as well, bowling really well to continue that. But it was Bartman that really put the shackles on the Netherlands at the end, because he came in and he bowled fantastically. I mean, they made it past the 100-run mark when Bartman came into bowl. He dismissed Sybrand Engelbrecht, he dismissed him Pringle, and he dismissed Logan Van Beek, sorry. If you're going to talk in a Dutch manner, and they only put on 1 run in that over. So he bowled brilliantly at the death. He was fantastic, and it shows you what a difference it can make when you have a death bowler that can actually do really well at the end. It just gives you that extra bit of class. But we need to talk about Kagiso Rabada. He hasn't been the most economical. So first and foremost, he's not taking wickets. And then on top of it, he's not been really economical either. So we need to start to think perhaps if we should throw in another spinner, because I think that Marco, Oatmeal, Andrich, I think that's enough. Or replace him with Gerald Coetzee for extra pace. That's probably a possibility for the next games leading up. Now we've got Bangladesh next. It's a big game. It's a good team that can turn it on when they want to. We need to maybe make 2 decisions. For me, the decision is going to be Quinton de Kock, because for me, I wouldn't go against Riza. First pitch, a little bit. Everybody gets a pass basically in that first game on that pitch. This game, he got a good delivery and he was bold. And Quinny, that was his call. So that's a little bit of a problem. And if I would give him personally one more game, and then decide, but let's talk about that maybe on the preview show for the next game. Let's talk about that batting performance. I'm extremely pissed off about that batting performance. We found ourselves in a terrible position, the worst start in South Africa's ever, in our history ever. 3 for 3 we found ourselves. And it was Quinton de Kock run out on the first ball of the game. Then Riza Hendricks clean bowled. And then Aiden Markram strangled down leg, edging it to the keeper. And we found ourselves down 3 for 3. And then 12 for 4 in 4.3 overs. And Klaasen playing an unnecessary shot where all we needed to do is rotate the strike, run ones, runs twos, etc. I don't know what was going on there with the mentality. And this is a mentality thing. It's not a talent thing. and a quality thing and all of those stuff. Um, this is a mentality thing. I think it's all about attitude. There was nerves. Why was there nerves? You've got 103, 104 to chase. Why are you nervous about that? This was all this type the type of batting that you needed was the way Tristan and David approached the batting. We needed that from our opening batters. We needed this calmness. There's no need for a quick single, trying to steal a single when the ball's going down to the slips, or to third man, trying to steal a quick single in your first over. That that's a terrible decision. Quinton could see that delivered ball. There was no need for that single there. Allow your batters to get a little bit of time in and find themselves and find their rhythm. There was no need for that. So like, and then also, Aiden was peeved off. Of course he was, because the shot that he played was a terrible shot to play. The ball's going down leg. You don't need to. You don't even need to play that ball. You can let it go for a wide or something. Like, I mean, those type of decisions that you need to make. And that's gotten this is not this is at the beginning of the tournament. So I'm happy actually from a positivity perspective that this collapse happened now, because I don't think we can get any worse than this. I mean, if we are, then we don't deserve to. If we put in another batting performance like this, that's two bad batting performances in a row from our top order. If we're going to do this at the beginning of the tournament and win our games, that might be a positive thing going further down in the tournament. We might be able to get some momentum and get better as the tournament goes on. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. So luckily, this actually happened at the beginning of the tournament and not in the middle or towards the end of a tournament, because that collapse normally happens at the end when it's getting to the group, when it's getting into the knockout stages or close to the knockout stages. So there is one maybe slight positive over there. And I may have to be critical about Klaasen's shot that he played at that particular time. I think that would have been that's a problem as well. I think that we needed him to just keep his head, find doubles, find singles, and not try to necessarily hit the boundary at that stage. On this wicket, we know the boundaries are quite big. You need to get your eye in 100%. Like David took a long time to get his eye in before he could smash those sixes at the end over there. But talking about David, let's just give him a round of applause. 59 or 51 balls on a tricky wicket, three fours, four sixes, boundaries at the end to clean the game up with still a whole over to go. Brilliant performance from David Miller. Under pressure, with the the game on in the balance, not in the balance, and with the game looking like we're going to lose this game, and he just turns it around and he actually wins. I've mentioned this on the channel many times. I've said that David Miller is the one player that in this team, in the squad, that I don't have too many worries about when it comes to finishing and chasing. He always seems to pull out a performance when South Africa are in trouble. Even in the previous World Cup, David Miller's performances at the end really helped us in the game against Pakistan, for example. In certain situations, he pulled us out of trouble many times. And I think that his ability to be able to do that consistently for South Africa is a key factor in this team and in this game. So for this team, so there's a positive from a South African perspective that we have a guy like him in our team, because we needed that. This is also a very good positive for our ability to chase, our confidence in chasing. I think this team now will get a little bit of a confidence boost thanks to thanks to David Miller. It was a funny thing actually that I saw in the post match as they were walking off the field. The commentator said everybody will be giving David Miller a massive hug now, after this particular chase, and people started embracing him. And then he walks up to Quinny, and Quinny just like shakes his hand and walks away. I'm like not Quinny, doesn't apply to Quinny those type of statements and generalizations, because that guy is just special. So when it comes to this game, I'm happy we won, but I'm really disappointed with that top order. And there's going to be now a situation where we're going to have to decide what we do. Let's also just give a lot of credit to Tristan Stubs. I think he played a very crucial knock in this innings as well. Kept his head, and he ran singles. He hit boundaries when he could. Those particular situations were very important. Now, David Miller needs to. I know David Miller has amazing amount of self confidence, and he knows he can do things like this for a team. But he almost, I think he was the reason for actually for Tristan Stubbs' wicket. You can't be facing, or you can't be having a maiden over right at the end of an innings when you're chasing a total and the scores are close. He put pressure on Tristan Stubbs to try and have to go for it, where we could have just had been running singles and getting keeping the run rate ticking over, and then go for a boundary when the pressure's off. So those type of decisions need to be changed. We need to find a way on how to change that and change that mentality when it comes to other way we approach certain scenarios. So that is something that we need to take into account when it comes to this team. But Tristan Stubbs played a very crucial innings. He kept the ball moving. He kept the run rate going up. He took some time to get himself in. He scored a few boundaries, but then lost his wicket at a crucial time, and we almost actually ended up losing this game because of it. Uh, Marco Jansen only really knows one way, swing. Um, and that actually didn't go in our favor. But another compliment for David Miller over here that I liked, because we saw something that was happens in the past, totally happened, that didn't happen here. Usually in games like this, we'll see David Miller take singles when he doesn't need to take singles, and he needs to farm the strike. And Keshav Maharaj came in and he hit the ball and tried to go off for a single, and Miller sent him back and said no. And then he farmed the strike and won us the game. Well done to David Miller for doing that. We need to see that more from him when he finds himself in this situation. So overall, I'm quite happy with that. This is a call-in show, guys, so you guys can call in. Kelly, I see you've called in, but the device is not connected, so I'm going to have to remove you from the studio and you need to try again. Um, let's get into the live chat and see what you guys have had to say. Palit says, Stubbs and Miller deserve a raise. Ikram says, phew, that was close. Kelly says, Miller clutch, Stubbs becoming clutch. What the if, Heine? This is a criticism I've had of Heinrich Klaassen for quite some time. I've mentioned this, guys, to you before. I'm a big fan of Heinrich Klaassen, and when he's in form, he's absolutely unstoppable. But there's been too many occasions that I've seen him in scenarios like this where he hasn't actually stuck in and taken the team over the line. I want to see that more from him down the line. He's extremely good when you bat first. I mean, majority of the time when we bat first, he's always going to score you runs. But in these chasing such scenarios, when the pressure is on him alone, to really go out there and try and do something fantastic, sometimes he crumbles. So I would like to see a little bit more clutch moments from Heinrich. I was disappointed with that shot, definitely was, but I'm sure I'm going to be positive about this, that he's going to improve as the tournament goes along. Ruban says, if not Miller heroics during batting and Bartman wickets, SA would have again lost to the Netherlands in a match they were totally in control. That is until the top order seem to lose their mind 100%. Sam says, Khalid, to be honest, our top order hasn't learned from their mistakes, going again and again. Why they put pressure on himself while chasing? Seriously, they need to work. It's a wake-up call for them. And I'm glad that it happened at the beginning, like I said, of the tournament. And it hasn't happened in a crucial moment where we actually end up losing a game. So that is something that we can take a positive from when it comes to that. Lawrence saying David Miller showing once more why he's our most clutch player and arguably our best T20 finisher. He changed the match momentum completely, took all pressure off Stubbs. Now that's experience. 100%. I've given him a lot of praise on the show already. Lorenzo says, I'll give Riza one more game. If he doesn't come off, he must make for Rickleton. I'll keep the same energy I had for Temba. If you don't perform, you must get dropped, as Rix is also in form. Rix isn't actually in form based on his last 3 games that he played for the West Indies against the West Indies. So currently he isn't in form. So it will be a little bit of a risk when you play him. But for me, it's not Riza that gets dropped. For me, it will be Quinny. If Quinny has another bad performance in the next game, I would drop Rickleton for Quinny, and I'll play. I'll keep on playing Riza because Riza is actually in form from his previous from the West Indies. Kelly says so. No, we should have won, not lost. Quinton de Kock, Riza, Klaas, and Markram can't be trusted in tricky run chases. Um, Blitz says, "What's your Patreon?" My Patreon's the link is in the live chat. You can just click on over there, and you'll find it. Ruben says, "Okay, that's the answer to Kelly." Avin says, "T20 is not Rabada's best format. He's struggling at the moment, and that's why I say that his spot in the side isn't 100% cemented for me." Shatil says, "Khalid, you wanted Miller dropped 2 years back. Most disrespected SA cricketer in modern times." That was I, 2 years back. I was speaking about Miller, yes, and there's been there would have been a reason for that, and I can't remember 2 years back what I was speaking about. Just because I want a player dropped for a particular period or a match doesn't mean I want them dropped from a squad completely. It's not like things can change, players can prove you wrong. So, with regards to David Miller, uh, I needed him to take a how can I say to show his senior side and experience, and he's done that. He's actually shown that capabilities. This is sport; things can change, and Miller's game from a senior from a more player that was in between to a senior player, he's taken on that responsibility very, very well. And since that 2 years ago, when I probably said that, I've seen a hell of a lot of maturity in Miller's game. Even in previous World Cups when we lost and we went out, the guy has shown a lot of clutch moments in big tournaments. That's where it counts. My point here is when it comes to South African cricketers, you can't if you're not performing domestically in clutch games and you don't score in finals, semi-finals, and do those things, it's easy to get a good run on the way to a trophy in the group stages, whatever the case may be. Anybody can do that. But we need to look closer at our players that do perform in clutch moments and do perform when the pressure's on, like in finals, like in semi-finals, etc., domestically. Because if they can't even do it domestically, they're not going to do it on the biggest stage of them all. So we need to look at our players a lot closer when it comes to those type of things, when it comes to those type of situations. Um, Let me just get a couple of the latest comments of Yakon. Guys, you guys are going crazy in the comments. Smash the like button, please, guys. It's really going to be important. Chatil says, I've seen comments like, what has Miller ever done for South Africa just last year? Um, that 15 run over from KG almost cost us in chase. He needs to fix up real quick. He's not been at it for a couple of games. Chatil says Miller has done more under pressure in ICC events than Gibbs. But that's what I'm saying. I just said that, and I said that at the top of the show as well. Lorenzo says it's a sad reality, but you just know Klaasen won't get you over the line when we're under the pump. Due to the eyes, he's such a wonderful player, but he just plays a shot too many in strange circumstances. That's why it's a team sport. We need everybody to come together to be able to help us to a trophy. If we want to win a trophy, that's what it's going to take. And that's something that I think is important when it comes to that. In my time's case, is not only Klaasen, I don't think besides Virat they have good averages while chasing in any format. Lorenzo says, I get your Riza analogy, but you and I both know they won't dare drop Quinton de Kock. For them, Riza will be the easier one to drop. Yeah. If we're going to speak about what we think they will do and what we want to do, that's when we need to differentiate when we give our opinions, because one is an opinion and one is what we think they are going to do. Dex says the outfield helped Netherlands a lot. It was, I'm not going to say that. It was a P. Khalid, take my comment. I just did. But Chatil says Batman last over was crucial. Potentially made the chase 8 to 10 runs later after that Rabada over. Okay, we've got Kelly on the line. I'm going to give her a chance to rant and give her say and her basically a version of what happened of the events that happened today. So welcome to the show, Kelly. Take it away. Have your say. I'm going to leave the floor to you.
Okay, can you guys hear me? I just have to make sure the mic is on.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, great. Sorry, I don't have a camera on this computer. Okay, the top three, and this is why I responded to people about the rumors. It's not a call for him to play T20s. It's just a tongue-in-cheek response saying that the way they dismiss themselves on a pitch where everything is so slow that it actually feels like the air is slowing you down. Like when you hit the ball through the air, it feels like it's going slower towards its final destination. Everything is slow. Outfield is sandy. The pitch doesn't allow the ball to come on. I mean, you need to make so many adjustments, and the ball sort of just stops there, allowing the fielders to swoop in and pick it up, and they have a million years to direct it towards the stump and possibly run you out. So you have fewer twos than you normally would. So whereas guys like Markram might like a few twos in the early parts of his innings, or Reason might like a few twos, and Tristan likes to run between the wickets, they're not going to get that. They're going to have to find other gaps to score through, and they're going to have to realize that the ball's not going to go as far as it would in South Africa or in India or anywhere else in the world, because this is completely foreign to them.
Yeah, it's something they need to adapt to as well because I mean the situation is we know we're playing 3 games. Our next game is also in New York, so we have to kind of just deal with
Yeah.
that situation at the moment because we knew that this is going to happen with regards to that. But I mean those wickets. I mean that I don't think those wickets had anything to do with the pitch at all today.
No, they
The
didn't. It was a great deal of impatience, um, possibly a lack of planning, and by your second game, I would think that you'd have a plan. You'd have a plan, because this didn't play any differently to the last game. So where's the plan? It seemed as though only two players knew what to do.
Yeah, forcefully actually, because I mean I think it's what's got a lot to do with nerves. I mean, I was
Well,
speaking about
yeah.
body language and attitude. I don't know what type of conversations they have before they walk out to bat in such situations like this, because I think having a mentality of pumping up your players and so that they are like bouncing before they go onto the field will make a massive difference than when they are just calm, relaxed, and trying to walk out there and being, because it feels that we become a little bit nonchalant when we have that mentality rather than when we look a little bit fired up, bouncing around, maybe a couple of boxing jump arounds before you they walk onto the pitch. I don't know, something they need to change because nerves crept in here very quickly. I mean, that run out could have been prevented. It was no need for a run, a risky run in your first ball delivery of a game.
And playing a ball down leg, gloving a ball down leg as well. When you are sorry, sorry, gloving the ball down leg. That was Aiden's, eh?
Yeah. Well,
When you're
not yeah,
this
edging it.
edging the ball, down leg, sort of playing on. I can understand the rationale, but you know, I'd sort of err on the side of caution. Leave it alone. Let it go wide. You're not
Exactly.
playing with 200 yet, and that's the
That's what made it
captain.
crazy. Yeah.
That is the captain. That's the sort of game awareness that he should have already. And Quinton, no, he's too experienced to be. This is not the first time he's done what he's done either.
Exactly. And that's
He,
why I said it would
it's
be him on the
village.
chopping board.
It's village cricket.
Those are the type of things that we need to take into consideration in when we select players from a domestic level. I think already when we looking at players, we need to see how they do in certain scenarios, Because if they can't do it at domestic level in pressure situations, there's no way you're going to do it on the biggest stage. That's not how life works. I mean, you're not going to, um, I don't know, like if in any field, you're not going to take a doctor that is only practiced to do surgery in operation and then tell them, okay, cool, you're gonna go sit do heart surgery now at a hospital under pressure on a real life person. If the only person that they've worked on is a dummy, for example, like you're not going to put a person in a situation that they've never been put in before from a pressure scenario, because pressure changes everything. So if you can't do it when the pressure's not on, how do we expect our players to do it when the pressure is on? And that's my big concern about the way we pick and select players. It can't only be about just form, it's about when that form happened. Because anybody can go on a good run at the beginning of a tournament, like when he did in the 50 over World Cup. It's at the back end where you need your players to actually stand up and score runs, because that's the clutch time. That's when you need to go for the trophy. So those type of things we need to think about as well. So Kelly, your thoughts on maybe the next game, and do you think there's any changes that need to be made over here? Your
I
final
actually need
thoughts.
to take a look at the squad list because that's what I missed was I was watching rugby and switched over. What was our bowling attack today? The makeup of the
It's,
side.
it was just no
Maraj?
changes. It's the
No
same as last
changes.
week.
No
Yeah,
changes. Okay. So I think maybe, let's see. Rabada, who's our next fixture against? It's
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Rabada actually usually does fairly well against them. Bartman's been going so well. I think he stays.
Yeah, definitely for me.
It's also in New York, eh? The last one.
Yeah,
There.
yeah, and then Nepal will be in West Indies.
And I don't think that we gain anything from playing an additional spinner. I think the wrist spinner just I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not as easy as we think it is when we actually think about it.
Yeah, it's just the bowling lineup because I think Bartman or Kier locks in and Rabada does he has I mean I think good performances against Bangladesh are sort of it was his debut game for South Africa when he took he took a hat trick.
Mm.
Usually does quite well against them, but you know he was injured before. We could possibly afford to give him a rest, or we could play a Bjorn Fortuin, someone who keeps it very tight. Um, Obviously depends on what their matchups look like because
Yeah,
Aiden also could bowl.
yeah. I think Bjorn would be good
Um,
on this wicket actually because
yeah,
of the big boundaries and the slow outfield.
yeah, and the ball does tend to get stuck. It does force the batsman onto their back foot as well, quite often, like in Paul when he plays there when it's a little bit slower and sticky.
Mm.
So it's not a bad idea because you could also extend them. I mean, often one of them, like Aiden, will open or you'll bowl in the power play, and then you'll have another one bowl. I mean, you could have one bowling from one end at almost all times of the game, basically.
Yeah, yeah. So
So it's
that's that.
not a bad idea because
Your
Janssen's
final.
always there
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, but he's bowling extremely well up front.
in
And
front.
I
Yeah,
said that. I think it was a lot to do with his energy levels and stuff like that. He needed a rest, and I think the
yeah,
IPL actually, in the end, gave him that rest that he needed. I think because he hardly played. So yeah, your final thoughts,
yeah.
Kelly?
I think I think with the batsman, with Bangladesh, I might not change too much.
Mm.
Um, because you can't write off a player with class and all of a sudden you give him a different day. He wakes up on the right side of the bed and then all of a sudden you get a performance out of
Mm.
him. But I can understand I know some people didn't agree with it, but I can understand the rationale of playing Stubs at 4 now and not him.
Yeah, I mean, I said that at the beginning of the tournament. I said I want Stubbs at 4. Um,
And even now with David, you can play David at 4, Stubbs at 5. Either one of them, but after this, if it's a chase, Heinrich at 6 unless there's a big platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I see Rick slotting in possibly, but isn't the next game a slightly bigger one?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Bangladesh should be a bigger one than the Netherlands, but we know what the Netherlands do
Mm.
to us um,
And yeah,
every single time. Okay, Kelly, thanks a lot for coming calling in. I'll chat to you
yeah,
again very
thanks.
soon.
It's difficult to say what I would change because I mean it was a self-inflicted wound by
Yeah,
our batsmen again, but
yeah,
about 9 of them. And the
yeah,
9, well, the ones who
definitely.
win
Yeah.
go out.
Okay,
But I
okay.
mean, we can't leave it to Miller all the time.
No, we can't, and that's the thing about having a clutch player. That is, whenever you talk about X factor players are the type of players that step up when you most need them, not necessarily about consistency. That's why there's certain times where I talk about form and consistency
Mm,
and scoring runs after each other. It depends on who the player is and where they bat and what scenario they are in. You need more consistency from your top order than you need from your the guys at the bottom, because you shouldn't be finding yourself in these situations all the time. You need to find yourself in a situation where you are comfortable majority of the time, so that the finishers and middle order can just do a
mm,
can put on
yeah.
do the finishing touches rather than actually create the whole masterpiece by themselves.
And I actually think that that was a nice change from their normal roles. Sorry. I couldn't hear you. You're on mute. Sorry.
No, no,
Okay, okay.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It was a nice change from their normal roles because Stubbs was in at 4 and then David was playing the finisher
Yeah,
at 6. So, I mean, the versatility is good to see.
100%.
And and that partnership, even though ideally in future Stubbs should get us over the line, and he will, he's still young. I mean, you can excuse him for going for a
Yeah,
big shot after
no,
a maiden,
definitely, exactly.
but Heinrich's shot in the
No, that
power play where he could have gone
no,
anywhere is
yeah,
something that made my blood boil. Like I was just, I mean, you're looking at a kid on the other end who can adapt his game, and you sort of aren't really comprehending, you know.
yeah. Anyway,
So
Kel,
yeah,
thanks for
thanks so
joining.
much. Thanks so
I'll
much.
talk
Sorry
to you
for the
again.
rant, guys.
No, no problem. That was we needed that. We didn't have any call-ins, but I'll speak to you again soon.
I mean, it is a win, and 2 wins is better than the surprises that have happened so far.
100%. Yeah, and it was two difficult wins, so that's good as well, I
These
guess.
guys should be battle hardened.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for calling in, Kali.
Okay, thank you. Khalid.
Right.
Cheers.
Okay, so a lot has been said there, and majority of it I agree with as well. Because, like I said at the top of the show, the things that I was disappointed with, Klaassen, for example, the top order, all of them, and I think that Stubbs' shot was as a result of the maiden over. Said that as well at the top of the show. So, yeah, for me personally, going into the next game, I will say this probably on my previous show, so I might as well say it now as well. I wouldn't make any changes given that the fact that we won. The only person I will maybe consider is it's got to do with rhythm and got to do with KG. But I mean, I don't think KG will go 3 games on the trot and perform badly in every single game. There has to be a turning point at some point. In T20 cricket, because it's so unpredictable and because you don't know what's going to happen necessarily on the day, things can change in a moment immediately. One thing can change in an instance. So let me just get into the final few comments over here. Please smash the like button, everyone. Very important that you guys do so. I need you guys to smash that like button and comment in the comment section after this video is live. If you guys are on Facebook watching and you're not on our YouTube channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell for all future videos. Majority of our live streams go out on YouTube, so please go ahead and head over to that page and go smash the like button on this video as well there too. Lawrence says, okay, well, let me start with Tex here. We need to accept that Davey can't do it every day, so other batters must take the responsibility 100%. And I think we'll get better at that, guys. I think in the next game, I think our top order will be a lot better. I think they kind of needed this actually. Hopefully, they got that collapse out of the way now, and now they can be, because once you feel that type of scaredness or nervousness, it like wakes you up to like, whoa, that was a scare that we got away. We got away with that scare. So I'm hoping that that woke them up, that nerves, that scare woke them up, and they now are going to be really good towards the end of this tournament. Aiden needs to work on his defensive shot and playing underground shots, on the ground shots. And Klassen really disappointed me today, man. It was an absolute nothing shot. Ikram says, if the Proteas want to win the World Cup, we need the same. We need to get some ugly games like the Springboks in last year's World Cup and like Bafana at Africa earlier this year. That's why I'm happy that these ugly games happen now at the beginning of this tournament. I'm hoping that this is a positive going towards the end of this tournament. Guys, we shouldn't be so negative. We just won a match. So, I mean, I know I maybe kickstarted that conversation by just going to the negatives first and foremost, but I'm still happy that we won 2 games. Uh, our bowlers look great. My biggest concern, at least, isn't happening. My biggest concern was the bowling rhythm, the bowlers, some of the bowlers not being fit, etc. And that's been crushed completely. These bowlers are going to just get better and better as the tournament goes on, I feel. So I'm happy with that. Pratik says that's just how Klassen plays. If that shot should have gone for 6, should have said what a player plays fearlessly. Uh, okay. I don't think he always plays like that though. There are times where he can play smartly and really um, work himself into a game, and I've seen him do that in the IPL as well. Ikram says the only thing that matters is to win the World Cup. Um, Ruban says SA and Bangladesh will be competing to be top of the group, which is crucial for Super 8 stage. So both teams need to win. This is not an easy match for both teams. 100%. Now, no team in this World Cup is going to be an easy team to play against. In my time says I was disappointed too from Klaassen, but I don't mind that when the target was 104. Um, in my time say yes, but still, it doesn't matter. Lawrence, these are the types of wins that will give us much more confidence moving forward. We had 2 pressure games and we came out victorious. This is the type of wins that goes a long way chasing 100%. Tabo says, Klaassen just lacks game awareness. I like him, but he should learn when and where. You see, that's why I think we have the perfect combination of players. We've got a player that can turn up in situations like this and chase down a game and win it for us single-handedly. We've got a couple of game players that can win a game single-handedly. We've got great players that generally play really well batting first. Remember, both games we've chased now, both games we've won. Even though it was struggling to get over the line, at least we got over the line. And we got over the line with wickets in hand. That's very important. In the last World Cup, when we were in a clutch chase at the end, we got over with our tail enders by the skin of our teeth against Pakistan. This is a different scenario. We got over the line with our senior player still at the crease batting and getting a half century. It's a massive difference. And in the last game, we did it with our senior players. So, guys, not too negative. I don't think we should be going and chopping players and dropping players left, right, and center now. That shouldn't be the mentality whatsoever. We've won 2 games now. Let's keep that consistency. Let's keep that positivity. Let's go into the next game, clear a slate, forget about these last 2 games, focus on the next opponent. That should be the mentality now going forward. Avin says Batman along with Bumrah should be the best death bowlers. NY says, but surely opener needs to have positive body language. Both opener looks dull when they came just play defensive shots. Yeah, that's my point. That's why I was talking to Kelly about when I said I want the guys to have a little bit of a different body language when they're walking onto the field. Even they like too casual, strolling onto the field. I want them to jump, maybe jump around, do a little bit of a rock Lesnar dance before they come on, or something to give them some energy before they walk onto this field. I mean, listen to some flipping, I don't know, DMX or something to get you riled up or something. I don't know, like Lil Jon or what. I don't know what they like to listen to. I personally would listen to MGK to get me in the zone, and that's what I'll do, or Eminem or something like that. Um, they need to just get their minds off, because I think these players play so well on instinct. They just need to get their minds off the nerves and the pressure, and that's what they need to do. Um, Matt says, I feel we're overreacting. Yeah, this, we need to analyze the game. Otherwise, we don't have a show. We need to talk about the negatives as well as the positives. At the moment, I feel that I'm very happy with where we are, and I'm very happy that we are in a strong position and we won 2 games. There are some positives and negatives in the match, however, that we need to talk about. Rabada can't bowl at the death. He will leak runs against strong teams. Miller, our greatest ever T20 batsman. I think we need to see after this World Cup, and then we can start maybe saying those type of things. Because if we win a World Cup, then I feel that we can start talking about our greatest ever batters, because that means that there's certain players that are going to put in match winning performances that's going to win us the cup. Sam says that's the reason I wanted Mulder into the squad. We should have played him in place of Maharaj in New York venue. He could have been also handy in the top order. Nah, not for me, bro. I think our top order is fine. They just need to get themselves going, and the next game is perfect for them to do so. Uh, we need to back up players that are currently in the side at the moment. They've got enough there to be able to do it. If we want Klassen to go all guns blazing, then we need to have him at 4. We can't have him at 5 when early wickets are lost. Give him license at 4, and if he fails, we at least have time to consolidate. Wesley says ability to rotate strike is underrated in tense matches. It's easier to be done, but it's easier to do than boundaries, but often forgotten. And I've mentioned that at the top of the show as well. There are certain scenarios where you just like, I feel that Klaassen could have rather just, instead of trying to a big pull shot, just try to knock the ball into the gap, take it 1, take it 2, work his way in, and then go like David Miller did today. That's what we needed from Heinrich Klaassen. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please smash the like button. Also, comment and share. That's very important. Once we are done streaming, I need you guys to go to the comment section and also comment, because the algorithms have changed on YouTube, and it's made it very difficult for us as creators for our content to be shared and go on into people's recommended feeds. We need engagement on the videos itself. So please go into the comment section and talk to each other there too. Talk to us, ask us questions, etc. We really need your help with that. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out, everyone.